most of the lessons are done lying down, but because we are here, we can do it sitting down. Okay. So first of all, many classes, not necessarily, but many lessons are done with the eyes closed. So if you can close your eyes, if you want to try, you can close them just to sense more of yourself inside, although it's not necessary. But find a comfortable position to sit down. So maybe a symmetrical position where your legs are more or less, they're not crossed, and you can place your hands on top of your thighs, either facing down or facing up as you wish. And then you close your eyes and you sense the contact of your sit bones with the surface of the chair. Try not to try to be away from the back of the chair. So just see if you can sit in a comfortable position without resting your back on the chair. And then sense, just for a moment, sense the contact of your sit bones with the surface of the chair. Notice if there's any difference between how the right sit bone and the left sitting bone are making contact. If you can't find them, you can put your fingers right down there. You can feel with the fingers of the right hand, you can feel the right sitting bone, and then you lift the left cheek, and then you try it with the left, and so feel two big bones there. And just place the hands on top of your thighs, either with the palms facing down or up, and just sense yourself for a moment. Noticing if you're breathing. And then take your attention to your right hand. And the hand is actually many things. And so you could take your attention to how you sense the right hand. And then take your attention to how you sense the palm of the right hand. And then compare it to how you sense the back of your right hand. You might feel different temperatures or totally different story. Each part of your hand tells you a totally different story, perhaps. And then you can bring your attention to your right thumb. Sense it from the inside. You don't want to think about it. You want to sense it. It's alive. And then take your attention to the right index finger. To the right middle finger. To the ring finger. To the pinky right finger. And then sense your right hand as a whole. The palm, the back, the 5 fingers. And then compare that with your sensation of the left hand. Do they feel similar? Do they feel different? Does one feel bigger than the other or warmer than the other? And then take your attention to the left hand and sense the palm of the left hand. Sense the back of the left hand. Compare the palm of the left hand with the palm of the right. And the back of the left with the back of the right. Compare the left thumb, what you sense. There's no judgment in the comparison. You're just observing, you're just meeting your 2 thumbs right now where they are at. And then the left index finger with the right index finger. sense the left middle finger with the right. And sense also how when you take your attention to one and the other, that movement of the mind, of the awareness, how it moves from one finger to the other, the ring finger of the left hand with the ring finger of the right, and the pinky of the left and the right. So compare and contrast your left hand as a whole with the right hand as a whole. And now bring both hands and just very gently touch your face with the hands. Have your elbows towards down. And just start to sense the skin of your forehead. You can move it. You can maybe very gentle movement and just explore the bone structure of your skull. Freely just allow the fingers of both hands to move and just observe what you sense, so that we could say that the head is being touched by the hands, by the fingers, but in a way we are both touching and being touched. So the fingers are also being touched by the skull, by the face. And just feel that structure. Usually we do this with another person, but now we're alone here. So, and see, as you touch and you explore and you notice the skeletal structures under your hands, how in your mind's eye perhaps there's an image that starts to appear, you know, and then let that go and rest your hands again and just observe your face, your skull. And then once again, bring your hands at the height of your face, but this time have the palms of your hands facing each other. So almost as if you're like ready to separate them a bit, don't touch them. So the hands are separated. They are a bit more separated, like yeah. And as if we're going to clap your hands. And now bring your hands, slowly bring your hands together, and they will meet at the midline. And you do that slowly, and then they touch. You don't need to press, they just touch gently, and then you separate them. And you repeat that a few times slowly. So as if you're clapping in slow motion. And they touch. Then you separate. And the next time they touch, notice what touches first. Do the hands touch exactly all the fingers at the same time? Is there one finger that touches first, another touches after, two fingers touch together? And then as you separate the hands, does the hand separate? Do they separate the entire hand at the same time, or is there a part of the hand that separates first? And it's okay. We are not trying to touch the hands in any particular way. We're just trying to observe what's happening. And when they touch, when they're coming together, do you think they're going to touch before they touch, or are you surprised by the moment they touch? Is it before or after you think they're going to touch? And do they touch, do they meet in the midline, or do they meet a bit to the right or to the left of the midline? And then just rest your arms and hands and just observe what you sense in one hand and the other. Observe also that sense of the midline, that imaginary line that separates the body between the right side and the left side. It's an imaginary line, but it's very practical, a bit like the equator in the planet. And have a sense of that line that comes down through the middle of your forehead, the skull, the neck, the chest, the pelvis. And then bring again the arms in front of your face, facing each other, kind of like in front of your ears, so they are a bit separate, with the elbows just straight down. So your forearms are straight with the fingers towards the ceiling, elbows are bent. And now bring again the hands together. Go slowly and see when are they going to touch and how do they touch. And then separate them again. And the next time you bring them together, stay with the fingers together, with the hands together, and maintain the left hand quiet so the left hand doesn't move, and start to do maintaining the tips, the right hand together with the left. Start to make circles with the tips of the fingers of the right hand around the tips of the fingers of the left hand. So make the left hand doesn't move, and you maybe there's parts of the palm of your hand that are also touching, and you make these very small circles in whatever direction you prefer to start with. And see, can you sense all the circles you're making? And what part of your right arm are you moving? Are you moving your hand? Are you moving your elbow? Are you moving your shoulder? Everything. And then go in the other direction. And whenever you're tired, you can bring your hands down. There's no point in doing this and getting tired. And then stop. And once again, separate the hands and bring them together as if you're clapping in slow motion. Just sense that plane of contact, and then let go again. And rest for a moment. I mean, some of these lessons can go for an hour, but we're just going to make a couple more movements. But since your right hand, since your left hand, notice if you can sense any differences between one hand and the other. Is there anything in your right hand that tells you that you were moving it, or anything on the left that tells you that you were just receiving that movement? Bring the hands to face each other again, please, in front of the face, palms facing each other. They're not touching. And now, once again, they're not touching. And now, once again, bring them together. And then, once they're together, do that circle, but with the left hand, so that the right hand doesn't move. And maintain a soft breath. Don't hold your breath, don't hold your jaw. Do you sense any tension in your chest or in your lungs or in your rib cage or in your shoulder? Try to let go of any tension. See where you're holding. How can you do that movement even in an easier way, and then change direction and see which direction is easier for you. Usually our first direction, the first choice that we do is usually easier, or maybe just different. And then let go of that and bring your hands down. And see what you sense now in the palms of your hands and in the tips of your fingers. Is there a new sensation? It's amazing because often just by bringing your attention to an area of yourself, somehow that area becomes more alive, becomes present. It was always present, but we were not aware of it. And by bringing our awareness to it and by moving it, somehow it becomes present. Let's do one last thing. So please bring your hands to the same position, so apart but facing each other. And now you're going to meet the hands, but instead of meeting them in front of your face on the midline, you're going to meet them in different places. So a bit more to the right of the midline, a bit more to the left, a bit more up, a bit more down. So they meet and they separate, and you can like meet twice there. and then a bit more down, maybe at shoulder height, to the right or to the left. But have a clear intention where they're going to meet, and see, are they both moving? Is one moving more than the other? Is one moving towards the other while the other one is still? Have a clear intention, and then so you know what you're looking at. You can do it above your head. And do they touch when you think they're going to touch? And don't just touch the fingertips, but touch also the base of the palms of your hands. So the outside of your small fingers, the base of your thumb. And then bring them to the initial position, and then once again meet them in the midline. And they both move towards each other. Notice, is there one hand that has a tendency of moving more towards the other than is one more active and one more passive? Would you say that one hand reaches more towards the other while the other one sort of waits? And when they move away, do they move away? Do they start the movement at the same time and they move at the same speed, or there's one that starts to move away from the other and moves faster? Good. And then let go of the hands, place them on your thighs, and just see how you sense your hands. So the palms, the back of the hands, the fingers, the length of the fingers. Where would you say your hand ends? Sense your arms. Sense the distance between your right shoulder and your right hand, and the distance between the left shoulder and the left hand. Observe how you've organized one hand and the other. Notice if there's any sensation of holding in your jaw or in your breath or in your tongue. Unnecessary. And then bring both hands to your face, and like we did in the beginning of the lesson, and just touch your face, the skin of your skull, of your forehead. And imagine you want to touch that skin with your fingers, but you don't really like place the fingertips of your right hand on your forehead and start to move the hand to the right. So almost as if you want to turn the head to the right, but before the head turns, you bring the skin of the forehead to the right. And you can also see what's happening under your fingers. So there's the skin of your fingers that meet the skin of your forehead. There's the skull behind the skin, and there's also the bones of your fingers. So see if you can first move those tissues before they actually, the bone meets the bone. And if you can explore all those tissues between the skin and the skeleton, you can use your hands, you can use just the fingertips. So there's movement in your hand, there's movement in your elbows and shoulders. You can move your skin, you can maybe even move your skull, your head, your neck as you push. Maybe you're moving your ribs and your uh, shoulder girdle. And within that, the breath is just flowing naturally, as naturally as possible. And see what is your experience. Good. And then just let go and open your eyes. So maybe this was not as short as it should have been, but it's a short lesson, so we can go very deep into all these practices, into all these processes.